This video we'll be discussing about Mathematics Paper 1, Pure Mathematics of P1, 2017 February March, subject code is 9709 and the variant is 12. In question number 1, find a set of values of k for which the equation has real and distinct roots. Since the equation has real and distinct roots, b square minus 4ac is greater than 0. For non-real roots, b square minus 4ac is less than 0, and for equal roots, b square minus 4ac is equal to 0. But for now, since we have real and distinct roots, b square minus 4ac is greater than 0. After solving this equation, we get an expression. Then, to find its critical values, after solving the critical values, we get the value of k, that is 0 and 8 by 9. So, to find the set of values of k, first of all we need to draw a graph shape like curve, that is for the values that is 0 and 8 by 9, and since the square term is positive, thus we would have a minimum point. So we would have a minimum point, but if the square term is negative, then we would have a maximum point, but for now we have a minimum point. And since the equation is greater than 0, so we have to choose the values of k that are greater than 0, that is less than 0 and greater than 8 by 9. We can see that this region values are greater than 0, while this region values are less than 0. So the values of k for which the expression greater than 0 would be less than 0 and greater than 8 by 9, that is this region and this region. So in the expansion of this equation, the coefficient of x is 5. Find the value of constant a. So to find the value of constant a, we have given that the coefficient of x is 5. So we need to just find the coefficient of x. So we need to expand this in our mind. Then if you do it manually and write it on the paper, then it would cost time, and as this is a formal question and this is really easy, so you have to think it in your mind. And we know that after finding the value, we can see that 5c2 would give a value, that is the coefficient or the term with x. So 5c2, 1 by ax to the power 5 minus 2, 2ax squared to the power 2. After solving, we get a value of x in terms of x, that is 40x by a. So the coefficient of x is, excluding x, 40 by a. So we have given that the coefficient of x is 5. So after equating these values, we get the value of a, that is 8. 3. The diagram shows a water container in the form of an inverted pyramid, which is such that when the height of the water is h centimeter, that is this h centimeter, the surface of the water is a square of sides h by 2 centimeter. That means this is a square shape and the height is 8. h. Express the volume of water in the container in terms of h. So we have to find the volume in terms of h. So for the volume of water, that is the shaded region, volume of the pyramid is half 1 by 3 area of the base into height. Volume of the pyramid is 1 by 3 area of the base into height. That is already given here. So 1 by 3 area of the base, that is, as it is a square base, so h by 2 into h by 2 into h, so it comes to be h cube by 12. Expression for volume is h cube by 12. Then water is steadily dripping into the container at a constant rate of 20 cm cube per minute. So cm cube per minute, that means dv by dt. So dv by dt is 20 cm cube per minute. Find the rate in cm per minute. Cm per minute, that means dh by dt. So we need to find the value of dh by dt at which the water level is rising when the height of the water is 10 centimeter. So given the height is 10 centimeter, we need to find the value of dh by dt. So to find the value of dh by dt, for our expression, dv by dt is equal to dv by dh into dh by dt. As we can see that here we have dv by dt. So this dh and this dh cancels each other out, so that we have dv by dt. So for now, we know the value of dv by dt and the value of, and we need to find the value of dh by dt. So first of all, we need to find the value of dv by dh. So dv by dh, so we have to integrate the volume, differentiate the volume, that is h cube becomes 3 comes at the front, then power minus 1, that is 3h square by 12. We get an expression for dv by dh. Then when h is equal to 10, that is already given in the question, h is 10, we find the dv by dh, that is 25. Then after putting the values in the equation, we get a value of dv by dh, that is 0.8. Value of dh by dt, that is 0.8. The diagram shows AB is equal to AC is equal to 8. So length of AB is equal to length of AC. That means these two lengths are same. That means this is an isosceles triangle. The circular arc BC with center A. So this circular arc BC with center, that is A. The circular arc CD has center B. So the arc CD has center B. Okay. That means these two are different circles, and for this arc the center is A, and for this arc the center is B. And ABD is a straight line. So line ABD is a straight line. That means this angle would be 180 degree. And in terms of radian, it would be pi. Show that the angle CBD is equal to 9 pi by 14. So angle CB and D, we need to find this angle, and to find this angle we know that BAC, that is this angle, is 2 pi by 7, and since these two lengths are same, that means their angles would be the same. So the sum of all the three angles would be 180 degree. After solving, we find one of the angles, that is 5 pi by 14. Since we know the value of this angle or this angle as 5 pi by 14, and we know the total angle is pi, that is 180 degrees, since it is a straight line. So pi, that is 180 degree, minus this angle would give our answer, that is CBD. So pi minus this angle would give our answer as CBD, that is 9 pi by 14. Then we need to find the perimeter of the shaded region. So the shaded region is this region, and for this region we need to find the perimeter. So to find the perimeter, first of all we need to find the value of this arc, then this arc, then the length of this side. So the length of this side is same as this side. So for this side we know this these two lengths, and we know the angle. So we can use the formula, that is a square is equal to b square plus c square minus 2b cos a. That is a square is represented by cb square, that is a square is equal to b square, that is 8 c square minus 2 bc cos a, and the value of angle is 2 pi by 7, and these two sides are 8. So after solving this, we get a value of cb, that is 6.94 as the positive value. Since this is the length, then the arc CD would be, so to find the arc CD, that is arc C and D, we have found this angle initially, that is CBD, that comes to be 9 pi by 14. So we know the angle and we know this length that we have found earlier. So the arc length would be arc theta. So arc length arc CD is arc theta, that comes to be 14.015. Then the arc BC would be arc theta. Arc BC would also be arc theta, and the value of r is 8 and the value of theta is 2 pi by 7. So after calculating, we get an arc BC, that is 8 and 2 pi by 7. 8 into 2 pi by 7, that is 7.18. So we know this two length of arc, and we know the length of BD, Since BD is the radius and the length of BD is the same as the length of BC. So the length of BC comes to be, or CB comes to be 6.94. So the length of this BD is also 6.94. After solving, we get a perimeter that is 28.1. Shows the graph of y is equal to 10x, that is this graph, and the graph of cos x. So this region is represented by 10x, since the graph of 10x comes to be in such a way that it is first of all increasing slope, then at the negative axis decreasing slope, then again increasing slope, decreasing slope. So the graph of 10x would something look like this, and for cos x the graph would be starting from a higher value, that is greater than 0, then moving forwards. And for sin x the graph would always start from 0, then moving forwards. So for now, the diagram shows the graph of y is equal to 10x and y is equal to cos x. The graph intersects at the point A and B. So these two graphs intersect at the point A and B. That means the 10x, that is this, and cos x intersect at A and B. We need to find the coordinates of A. So to find the coordinates of A, that is y is equal to 10x and y is equal to cos x as they both intersect. So we equate these two values, and after solving we get an expression. Then further solving it, we get the values of x, that is 0.67 and 2.48. Also we would get negative 1.6178. So for these values, we know that 0.67 would be the best for the value of A, or the x coordinate of A, and 2.48 would be the x coordinate of B. Since these two both intersect, so x coordinate of A would be 0.67 and the x coordinate of B would be 2.48. That is this further value 2.48. So A is 0.67 and B is 2.48. So the x coordinate of A would be 0.67. So 0.67 would be the x coordinate of A. Then we need to find by calculation the coordinates of B. So the coordinates of B would be, we know the x coordinate is 2.48, that is this value, and the equation we can use either the equation of cos x or tan x to find the y coordinate and give our answer. Origin A O, that is this origin O, the position vector of A and B are given by OA, that is OA, and OA, and OB, that is OB. We need to use a scalar product to find the angle OAB. So OAB, we need to find this angle, and to find this angle we know the formula, that is OA, that is this OA, into BA, that is this length OA BA, is equal to magnitude of A into magnitude of BA into cos of this angle. That means to find the angle, we need to first find this length. We already know we need to find this length. So this length would be, since we know OA and OB, so OB plus BA is equal to OA. After solving, we get this length BA as -5, -1 and 2. We write this in the form of vector, and if you just want to write it, that is -5i, -1j plus 2k, it would be in vector form in writing. But if we just write it in a vector form, then this would be -5, -1 and 2. So this would be BM, that is this length. Then to find this angle, we need to first of all find, that is the magnitude of OA into BM. So magnitude of OA, that is the vector OA into vector BM, that is 2 into negative 5, that is negative 10, 3 into negative 1 plus negative 3, and plus 5 into 2, that is 10. So we find the multiplication of the vector, then the magnitude of OA would be, so the magnitude of OA, that is root over, so OA, so root over 2 square plus 3 square plus 5 square, that is 2 square plus 3 square plus 5 square. We get our expression as root over 38. And for BM, it would be root over negative 5 square plus negative 1 square plus 2 square, that is root over 30. So after equating these values, we get a value of cos OAB as negative 3 by root over 38 by root over 30, and so the angle comes to be 95.1. So in summary, whenever we need to find the angle, we need to find the length of the two sides, that is besides the angle, then we need to use this formula, that is vector OA into vector BM is equal to magnitude of this two vector and the cos angle, that is this vector into this vector and the magnitude of this two vector and multiplied by the cos angle to find the anything that we want from this equation. Then we need to find the area of the triangle OAB. Area of the triangle is always half into sum of two, half into AB sine C, that is half into length AB, that is this length is represented by A, this is B, so half AB, and sine this angle, that is in between these two sides the angle, so half OA comes to be root over 38, so OA is root over 38 and OB is root over 30, and in between this angle, that is sine 95.1, so we get our answer as 16.8 as the area of the triangle. So area of the triangle would be half into AB sine C, half AB into sine C, that is this angle. So we use this formula to find the area of the triangle. Function f is denoted for x is greater than 0 by f of x is equal to this expression. Find f prime of x and f prime of x. So this is the prime, not an inverse. That means prime is represented by df by dx. So df by dx comes to be, the power comes front, then the power minus 1, and since x is multiplied by 4, so the 4 comes front. So f inverse, that is df by dx, is 6 4x plus 1 to the power 1 by 2. Then f double prime of x would be, again differentiating this equation, we get f double prime of x. So this would be the answer. Then the first, second and the third term of a geometric progression are f of 2, f prime of 2 and f double prime of 2, that is multiplied by k. So we need to find the value of constant k. So for the expression of f of x, f prime and f double prime, that is df of dx, we need to substitute the value of x, that is 2. So in both of these three equations, we need to substitute the value of x, that is 2, to find these values, and the last value, that is multiplied with k, so we have to give the answer in terms of k. Then since it is a geometric progression, so geometric progression would be a r to the power n minus 1, where r is represented by third term by second term or second term by first term, that is the ratio between these terms. So third term by second term is equal to second term by first term, as these two values represent r. So we equate this and find the value of k, that is 3. F and g are defined by such that x is greater than or equal to 0. So we have to note that x is greater than or equal to 0. Show that g f of x is given by this expression. So in the equation of g, we have to substitute the value of x, that is f of x, and find g f of x. Then if g of x would be, in the expression of f of x, we have to substitute the value of x, that is g of x, and find our expression. since we need to give our equation in unsimplified form, so this would be the answer. Then for the second part, find an expression for fg inverse of x and determine its domain. To find an inverse of an expression, we know that fg inverse of x is represented by this equation. So inverse would be, first of all we have to take fg of x is equal to y, then that is this fg of x is equal to y, then solve it and make the x becomes the subject of formula. After making the x subject of formula, we replace the x with fg inverse of x and we would get our inverse. We replace x with fg inverse of x and we replace y by x. After replacement, we get our expression for fg inverse of x, and for f of x, we know that the domain, that is x is greater than or equal to 0. So for both these expressions, the domain is greater than or equal to 0, and for the expression fg of x, since x is greater than or equal to 0, x is greater than or equal to 0, our range comes to be y is greater than or equal to 11. That is, if we put the value of x 0, we get a value of 11. So the domain of fg inverse is equal to the range of fg, that is, x is greater than or equal to 11. So x is greater than or equal to 11, and for this range we know that we only have to take the positive values, and the negative expression we have to ignore it, since the value is always positive. Equation gf of x is equal to fg of x. So for gf of x, gf of x, that is gf of x is equal to fg of x, we equate this and find, after solving, the value of x, that is 0 and 4. Therefore question number 9, the point A is given, lies on the curve. Find the equation of the tangent to the curve. So to find the equation of the tangent to the curve, that means the equation of the tangent would be y minus y1 is equal to m in bracket x minus x1, where m is the gradient. So first of all we need to find the gradient. So the gradient would be dy by dx is equal to 2 comes front, so 2x minus 2. So 2x minus 2, we substitute the value of x in this expression to find the value of gradient. Then the equation of the tangent would be y minus y1 is equal to m in bracket x minus x1. Substituting the value of y1, that is 2, x1, that is 2, and the value of m, that is also 2. We get an expression that is y is equal to 2x minus 2. Normal to the curve at A intersects the curve again at B. We need to find the coordinates of B. So first of all, the normal to the curve at A. So to find, we need to find the equation of the normal at A. We know the gradient of the tangent, that is dy by dx is equal to 2. dy by dx is equal to 2. That means the gradient of the normal would be its opposite and reciprocal, that is negative 1 by 2. So it would be negative 1 by 2, the gradient of the normal. The equation of the normal at point A, we know the coordinates of A and the gradient. So y minus y1 is equal to m in bracket x minus x1. We know the equation of the normal. Now the normal again intersects the curve. That means we can equate the equation of the normal and the equation of the curve to find the values of k, since these two both intersect. So after equating, we get the value of x, that is 2, and negative 1 by 2. Since we know that the coordinates of A is also 2, so this is our initial point, that is the coordinate of A, and the coordinate of B would be negative 1 by 2. And after substituting the value of x in any of this equation, that is the equation of the normal or the equation of the curve, we get the value of B or the value of y, that is 3.25. So these two coordinates would be the coordinates of B. At A and B intersect each other at C. Since the tangent at A and B intersect, so the equation of tangent at A that we have found earlier, that is y is equal to 2x at the beginning, equation of tangent at A, that is y is equal to 2x. Then the equation of the tangent at B would be, we know the coordinates of B and the expression for dy by dx, since these 2 points lie on the curve, and we know that the gradient of the curve is 2x minus 2. So the gradient is 2x minus 2. After substituting the value of b, that is negative 1 by 2, in this expression we find the gradient, that is negative 3. And the equation of the tangent would be, tangent at b would be y minus y1, that is y1 is equal to m negative 3 in bracket x minus x1. So we find the expression for the tangent at b and the tangent at a. After equating, we find the x coordinate of c and the y coordinate of c as follows. Question number 10. We need to find the x coordinate of a. So the diagram shows the curve y is equal to f of x where x is greater than 0. The curve has a minimum point at a. So the curve has a minimum point at a, and we know that at minimum or maximum point the dy by dx is always 0. So we know the expression for dy by dx, so we need to just equate it to 0 to find the value of x. Then find an equation for f of x. So we know the expression for dy by dx, we have to just integrate it. Since integrating dy by dx, we get an expression for y or f of x. So after integrating, that is integrating this 2x, we would get 2x squared by 2 and minus 2x cube, that is 2x to the power negative 2, that is this coordinate would be added to 1, and this negative 3 plus 1, that is this expression, and we get a c as our extra term constant. Then we need to find the expression for f of x. So we know any of the coordinates, that is the value of x and y. After substituting, we get a value of c. Then substituting the value of c in this expression to find an expression for f of x. We need to find the x coordinate at b and c. So for b and c, these 2 points b and c lie on the x-axis, and at the x-axis y is 0. So at the x-axis y is 0, we equate y to 0, that is f of x is equal to 0. Then solving, we get the coordinates of b and c, that is 1 by 2 and 2. We cannot take a negative value since these two values lie in the positive x-axis. So we have to take positive values. So 1 by 2 and 2. Then we need to find the area of the shaded region. So area of the shaded region would be, we have to integrate y with respect to the two values that we have found earlier. Since this shaded region is enclosed by b and c, and we know the x coordinate of b and c, so we have to integrate y with range of values of x of b and c. So we know the coordinates of b and c, that is 1 by 2 and 2. So we have to integrate y with respect to 1 by 2 and 2. So 2 and 1 by 2. Integrating y, x square becomes x cube by 3. X to the power negative 2 becomes x to the power negative 2 plus 1 by negative 2 plus 1, and minus 17 by 4 becomes minus 17 by 4x. Then substituting these two values, we get an area, that is 9 by 4 units square for the area of the shaded region.